I'm back to reality. Don't we are suffering off.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
We're suffering too much.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
The country getting high.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
Nowhere to go.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
No money in the bank.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
For taking people.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
To get full of war.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
Liberian people suffering.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
Everything like proper.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
We now get hospital.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
We now get good school.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
No element for children.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
No good company.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
The working, you get to pay.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
Every day you take a
You
pay.
need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
No justice for the
You
poor.
need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
Every day women
You
repeat.
need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
Because they get power.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
Just suffering poor people.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
Retire report for
You
thing.
need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
You say you former
You
player.
need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
No football
You
academy.
need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
People dying every
You
day.
need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
JFK to back.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
Education very
You
poor.
need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
We don't have a feeling.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
No good health
You
care.
need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
You know I say the truth.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
Want to get here. Want to get here. Everybody go equation. We tire of Joey. We tire of fucking pro. Make who me suffering. Them rider suffering. Keke rider suffering. Yana go suffering. Want to get here. Every day. No more Galpohkpa. No more fucking pro.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
Yo, we are suffering off.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
We suffering too much.
You need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
The country get
You
here.
need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
Nowhere to
You
go.
need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
No money in the
You
bank.
need to step down. Go back to bed, step down.
For taking people.
You need to step down. Come on, we are step down.
To get full of war.
You need to step down. Go fucking go, step down.
Everybody, hey, hey, Galpohkpa, hey, Galpohkpa, hey, Galpohkpa, suffering us, Galpohkpa, Galpohkpa, Galpohkpa.
Hello and Welcome to the Pepperbird Magazine. Did you know that the Pepperbird Magazine has been in existence for over 25 years and we're still going strong? I invite you to take an ad on our internet magazine, which is very, very useful during COVID days. So please give us a call. We'll come and have a quick chat with you and video you and your business. Look at the number below.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is April the 7th, 2021. We wake up this morning to calls from Liberians across the length and breadth of our country, calling for an end to secret killings, mysterious deaths, lost children, auditors' deaths, our EPS officers dying without explanation from our government. Our people in Liberia have come to the realization now that if they do stand up, we'll continue to die. We'll continue to disappear. Our children will continually be raped. Why? Because we have lost our minds. Perhaps this war has made us docile, acceptance of anything in our society, whether it's good or bad, we accept it, having no regard for Liberian lives. And look at the slogan of CUASK: Citizens United Against Secret Killings. That's my first lesson. So let me not rush myself. Let me put my topics up. 1. Citizens United Against Secret Killings. CUASK. 2. Legislators issues printing 48 Liberian billions of Liberian dollars in new notes or new family of notes versus the last printing of $4 billion that has not been reported on yet. 3. Why Attorney Commander Chesson? Let's get into my first lesson. I already started it because this is a continual and persistent issue in our nation today. Our people dying like dogs, being killed, being murdered, being missing. Our children used in ritualistic killings, their parts missing. We've been going through this thing forever, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse, worse and worse and worse and worse. It's getting worse. Why we got to go through this? Why we got to continually, year after year, administration after administration, history after history, we go after the same problems. Corruption, murders to cover up things, ritualistic killings for the political powers. What all these things for? If you kill my people to become government officials, how can I trust you? And this is the problem we're having in Liberia today. This is the very same problem we're having in Liberia today. We try to change our society. We try to renew our democratic alliances and pledges and oaths. But how can we succeed when the same rogues and murderers who have killed our people with impunity are our leaders today? Y'all tell me how the things will change now, because we just the idiots. If we don't admit it, we are idiots, then we just stupid and asinine even more. Because how can we want to change our society? We're talking about rehabilitation. We're talking about changing the lives of those children who are Zokos and all these kind of things. And the people leading us are Zokos themselves, are killers, are people who need rehabilitation themselves, are people who need to go to jail and be prosecuted. Then all the things we do, what the use of all these things? CUASK, legislator, laws, what the use of all the things? They don't mean nothing to us, because the same people who violated the law, who ate us, who killed us like dogs, who raped women and took their babies out of their stomach and taught other the children to do the same thing, are the very people who are our senators and lawmakers and officials in our government for 40 years now. The same people. They led and killed us in the war. After World War, we took them and made them our senators and our lawmakers. Now we're talking about our Liberia, once glorious land of liberty, is now the land of fear, threats, and pain. Is that real? For true? You think so? You really believe that? How you can be scared? How can you be threatened? How can you be in pain when that you're selected the very people to come back to lead you? You're talking about your Nimba County savior, your Lofa County defender, your Kru County killer, your Cape Mount County juju holder, your Maryland super duper looper, your Sano County Kechiche Pachacha, you're just screwed up in the head, you're screwed up in life, you're screwed up with the greed, you're screwed up with the stealing, you're just screwed up, period. And that's just what this group said. Liberians are sitting supinely. Let me find it. They said the Liberian, the wave of killing, mysterious deaths, and something have become so bad. Numerous unexplained deaths. Why? Because the citizens have been sitting down supinely. Sitting down supinely. They're watching their workmates. They're watching their friends. They're watching their family members. Who else they're watching? And they're watching many others being killed by our leaders, by the very people we elect, for the very people who want to lead us. And it's been going on from time immemorial. And we've been sitting down condoning it, accepting it, and just talking, complaining. Yeah, we could kill each other during the war. We could go after each other and tear each other's hearts out and eat it. But now we're scared to do anything. All the baby killers have grown up now. They're scared. They want redemption. And they're going around robbing other people to get that redemption. Stealing anything they can steal. Following George, we are on killing sprees. Is this the Liberia we want? I was reading a newspaper from Page Africa. And they were telling us in there, this is not the Liberia our people died for. You all know how many people were lost in Liberia since 1980 to today? We have lost close to 1 million people. For all kind of stupid reasons. We have lost nearly 1 million Liberian people. We keep talking about 3,000 from the war. How about from 1980? From April 6th, during the war, the same thing you celebrated yesterday. But I knew it, man. All through my sufferings, after you killed my father, and we had to go through all this thing, I had to go through law school and watch the sufferings. I knew it was coming down to this. And I kept asking God, Jesus, I said, you let me go through this second wave coming? Because Charles Brian told me it was coming. I told you before they killed Charles Brian that my boy, Charles Brian King had called me outside my office and we talked. He told me, Rodney, told them won't kill the oppositions. And I got a tip on with his recording. All of them planning on it. You want to hear? I said, hell no. I don't want to hear it. I know what this is about. You telling me I don't want to hear it. So you just keep that to yourself. And I told him right there, I said, Charlie, this tip could get you killed. I told him right away, this tip could get you killed. I said, don't mess with this tip. Just go tell those guys right now. I said, look, gentlemen, I don't want to be in this thing. I will support you all. I will be on the air for you. I will do anything you tell me to do, but I don't want to come to no more meetings like this. Don't go to that meeting. I told my boy not to go, man. I told my boy not to give that tip away. He wanted to give that tip to somebody, his uncle or somebody, and they turned it into Doe. And Doe himself killed Charles William with his own hands. So I'm telling you, as a security personnel, that will pass down to me. To say Doe himself killed Charles William. And this what brought about the downfall of Doe regime. You can't kill everybody. No matter how significant the person is or may seem, you can't just come and kill everybody. Because when you pull rope boots, when you pull rope and boots, they pull forests. So everything will come to revelation sooner or later. So while we keep on this deceitful road, and I knew we were coming, I knew we were going to war. Because there's no way Doe can take over the country and then start killing his body off. Say the spies, say they want to overthrow him, say they were the communist opposition. All of that leads right back to where we're coming from. And listen to Dara's dinner yesterday on Spoon TV. He says that you keep filling the bucket with water, and the bucket got holes in it, and you don't fix the holes, and you keep putting water in it with the hope of putting out the fire. You're not going anywhere because all the water will waste before you get there. And that's why we keep doing it, things over and over the same way. We keep doing the same thing over and over. Not even CUASK is saying that even with the deaths of our own people by killers in the society, by robbers, the government is not doing anything to stop it. The police is lackadaisical in enforcing the law, in investigating crimes, and bringing criminals to book. All of this adds to a breakdown in the security system of our country. Not only the police system, this national security of our country, it breaks it down. Then we're talking about Zokos, and not Zokos alone. It permeates all through the system to the very echelon of the system. So if it permeates through the system is responsible because they are not doing anything to stop it. They are behaving like they are partners in the criminal acts being perpetrated in our country. Because when the police is lackadaisical, that means they are reluctant in working. They are laid back. People killing people say, okay, yeah, just put it down, we'll take care of that. Just put it down, yeah, we got all the crime, we're looking into that, yeah, just put it down. And it's not doing anything. No reports coming out. These auditors, we have no reports on them yet. The irrespective of people killed in Liberian society, educated people, and until now, we have no conclusion to the murders. This is insanity. The president said they were lovers. The president said these people died natural or mysterious deaths. Why would these Liberians die in vain? Why would these highly educated professional Liberians die like commoners? You're talking about American auditing. You think 4 auditors will die in America and the police will sit down? No, the police will not sit down. Why? Because the people will want answer. And they don't get answer. They're not going to demonstrate for food or for lives or for all the kind of foolishness you're demonstrating about. People's lives are taken. The educated, the elite in our society, their lives are taken, and you have no concern about it. And you're sitting supinely. All your friends, workers, brothers and sisters, associates, people, other people being killed with impunity. And you're sitting down. You're sitting down. People got to come to you to form Citizens United in Secret Society. What is this? Then you're quick to take up arms to fight for your money. To fight it all a personal thing. You see, that's why we can't achieve anything in Liberia. Everything is personal. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. If it doesn't affect me and my family, I don't care. But now it's affecting all of you. Now you will come together to form CUASK. Why? Because you have no solution now. It is permeating the whole damn society. Everybody being touched with the ritualistic killings. Everybody being touched with the deception and lies of the government. Everybody being touched by George Weah and his incompetence, his lack of education and leadership, his failures to be a responsible, dignified, a man of integrity, honesty, to render justice serenity and progress and advancement to his people. He's not competent. He failed. He was a failure from the beginning, and we all knew it. But how can you hope for a dummy to change overnight to become a wise man? Are you people stupid? How will you take a dummy and say you want to try him, that God will give him mercy and blessing overnight? He will become like Solomon the next day. A dummy who has no respect for God, who have no respect or decency for himself. You'll take that man to be president of our country. Now you're living the life that kind of man brings to people who follow him. And you're crying. You're crying. When you make your bed, you got to lie on it. Just how you make it up. That's just how you feel the pains, or the softness, or the comfort, of the uncomfort of being in your bed. So until you people grow up to be men and women, until you people understand that you cannot come from a war and select rogues and killers, the most vicious people among you, to be your lawmakers and your peacekeepers and your unifiers. You people are no different than the Zokos. All your dress up and all of that. Nothing but Zokos. I look at all the Liberian women today congratulating what her name Beslo and all of it. Look at how all the women are dressed up. And our masses of people not dressed up like that. They're not cheap lapa so women got. They're the elite lapa, what do you call it? Lapa revolution. There are people who just sit up in a room and eat and throw up foolishness. Were any other people in that room among the women who went up country to fight for the other women? I didn't see most of the people in there. I saw none of them in there. But you'll tell me I might be wrong. You'll tell me. But these are the challenges we face in our country. These are the challenges our women are facing, but they don't know their own challenges. Look at all the women in that room, so international women. None of them did service to Liberia, to Kenya, Ghana, and Namibia, and other foreign countries. They're serving an international community. How can they help Liberia? Yeah, it's proud to know we got all those women among us, but none of those women serve in Liberia. None of the women in Liberia's foreign service. All of them for the United Nations making big fat money. Yes, they excel on the world stage, but our women are still underdeveloped. So who are these women calling themselves Lapa Revolution? Who is Mandela Cooper to lead a woman revolution? You'll check yourselves before you wreck yourselves. And I'm glad at least one group of Liberians now, they're seeing the need to come together, or they will die and perish, and George Weah will reign until he dies. So you check yourselves before you wreck yourselves. Our communities are full of deceptive people, deceitful people. And until we learn what leadership really means, what organizing really means, what the power of the people really means, we'll continue to be slaves to fear, threats, and pain. Aluta! Continue. Let me take a break. Then I'll come to my second lesson.
Hello, and welcome to the Pepperbird Magazine. Did you know that the Pepperbird Magazine has been in existence for over 25 years, and we're still going strong? I invite you to take an ad on our internet magazine, which is very, very useful during COVID days. So please, give us a call. We'll come and have a quick chat with you and video you and your business. Look at the number below.
Everything in Liberian society is intertwined and intertwined. So before I move on and connect this story to my lesson number 2, we must take into account of this date up here, April 21st, 2021. They're having a memorial service for all of our dead people. And they're having it where Gifty and Peter died. Our 2 auditors that were found dead in their car of carbon monoxide. George Weah said they were lovers. There is no evidence to prove that yet. Their deaths, there are no suspects as yet. So when the president makes those kind of comments, as he did with Early, the EPS officer who was shot in the head 3 times, and he said the man shot himself 3 times in the head, and that is an impossibility. But the president came and made those comments. So if the president is interjecting himself in the deaths of our people, making statements about his deaths, their deaths that are unfounded, how can we trust the government? How can we trust the system that's supposed to protect us? So on April 21st, a few days from now, next week, week after next, they're having this memorial service. And they're going to have it on Broad Street where Gifted Lama and Peter were killed. I don't want to mix the names up because right now I just go into my story. So excuse me if I mix the name up. So they're going to have it there. They have called on all clergy, members of the civil society, the public to show up so they can do this memorial service. They have asked that as of today, all Liberians who want to identify with this program wear black. That's why I have a background. Okay, I wanted to pour a stripe across my whole board, but I said, no, let me just leave it there. Maybe tomorrow I'll put a black stripe somewhere, a black bow or something. Because I'm a part of this program. I've been trying to awaken my people for so long. But in my second lesson now, let's look at the problems of our Liberian people, especially our Liberian leaders. Legislators' issues. Printing 48 billion Liberian dollars of new family of banknotes versus the past printing of 4 billion Liberian dollars that has not been reported to the legislature yet. So this is where we stand. Our country, our leaders are in a piece of mess. We are in a mess more now than ever before in our society, in our existence as a nation. That's why I keep playing my song, George Weah got to step down. Because it's time for accountability. It's time for leadership, responsibility. Our country can't go on like this. This is nativism. Every time I say you're jump on me. But you're telling me, my people, all my brothers and sisters, you're watching this thing. You're telling me, what is this kind of thing? Our country has lost total control of the rule of law, of civility, of decency, of human rights, human dignity. How can these 4 or 5 responsible people up here die in vain? How are they educated people? And we still have no answers to their deaths. Why? Because our leaders are giving us a double dose of fear. That's what they said. Their leader, the leader of CUASK, that's what he said. Because of the ills of the government and the ills of those perpetrating crimes against the Liberian people with impunity, Liberians are suffering a double dose of fear. Fear of the people that killed us so long, and now are our lawyers, lawmakers, and senators, and still trying to kill us by having no sympathy on us. Only killers will see the people dying and take $15,000 a month and go home with it, and know the masses of people can't eat, can't sleep, can have no food, have no means of survival. And when others try to talk and point the ears out, they disappear. They are thrown from balconies. They have mysterious accidents. They are poisoned with carbon monoxide. This is not the way our nation is supposed to be run. It's not. It's not. Now, instead of a land of liberty, we're a land of fear, threats, and pain. And this is not Rodney Chesson saying that. I've said it for so long. These are Liberian people coming together and saying it. They want change. But yeah, why we can't change? Listen to Darren Dillon interview with Spoon TV yesterday. You know, they always bring him on to explain. And every time he explains sometime, you can see all the faults in what he's doing. Spoon tried to bring it up. And if you don't do the background to things, if you just jump to want to finalize everything without the background, without building the foundation, without building the rock upon which that thing will stand. If you put it on the sand, the water will blow and the wind will blow it away. That's the same teaching of Jesus Christ. Build your house on solid ground. What is solid ground? That is what the Liberian people are missing in our society. Our leaders have no understanding of the Christian Bible. When you understand the Bible and it connects with your education, you can't fail. Because there's a nexus between who we are as men and women and what we want to achieve as educated people. Before we can achieve anything, we have to identify who we are. And that's where Liberian people have failed time and time again. We don't know who we are. When you don't know who you are, you can never be what you hope to be. And when people like Darius Dillon and these people who want to lead us sit down and imagine or envision things to do, and they get up and say, we'll do it. And they don't think on the ramifications to doing it. What you must laid down as foundations before you start building your center, your rehabilitation center, putting the walls together, imagining how you want it to run, everything. Even if you got input of others. If you don't lay the foundation with them, you will never achieve anything. You will never achieve, and you will fail and fail and fail time again. Our law, let's look at our law first. Let's look at the $48 billion they just signed, the Senate just signed, a few members in the legislature are complaining about. There are inconsistencies in our leadership. We're playing the same idiotic games we have played time immemorial. Why? Because only one or two people control the Senate. Only one or two people control the legislature. There's a conflict. There's a conflict. Yes, you can have one or two influential people. But when your leaders become like Mitch McConnell, all saying, all knowing, then we go back in the leadership of Tottenham. We are going back in the past where one man has the voice to change our society. And if that man has a loop-sided vision or an incomplete vision or a loop-sided vision, it can't work. And those were some of the things Spoon was throwing in there, in the question about Dylan and his leadership in building this rehabilitation center. How you build a rehabilitation center? You know the government is corrupt. You know the very same government you are in, you are accusing them of corruption, mismanagement, misappropriation, and then you're building a center with the hopes of turning over to the same incompetent government, the same useless government, the same government where no official is building nothing for Liberia but building it in their own names. And that's why everybody is suspicious that Darren was building this center in his own name. But that's how we do everything. The $4 million missing, there's no report on it. There's no resolution on how that money was spent, how it should have been spent, and who is mismanaged the funds of that money and its distribution. So right now, the legislature does not know how $4 billion of Liberian money was spent that was recently printed. Now, all of us agree that there is a need to print new money. But the same issue Darren Dillon raising in his point are the same issues that are supposed to be considered by our legislature. But they're not doing that. We know that having money changers in the street is a major problem. But yet, we have no banking facilities throughout Liberia. Everything is centered around Masurado County and Monrovia. How long will our lives be like this? We have lived like this forever. And everybody coming and say, oh yeah, well, the money is with the money changer. We need to take that and put it in the bank. And you listen to all these cool suggestions. But then the real aspect of the question is, are there banking institutions throughout Liberia? No. Not even in the major cities in the various counties. No. Our counties are like hinterland. They lack nothing. The roads are terrible. There is no access to take things from Monrovia up country fast. There are all kinds of inconveniences in our country. And the same money problem has been the issue from time immemorial. The same money problem. Who's spending the money? How you spending the money? Nobody makes report. And those were the things I listed as I heard Darryl say, let me list, let's see the things I listed somewhere. Yeah, He was number 3. No planning. There is no planning. The legislator approved bill to make money. They have no control over how the money is being made. They have no control over what has been happening to the money. So our oversight body is lacking in oversight competence. It's lacking in ability to oversee things. It's lacking in the right mindset of leadership, exemplary leadership. They are lacking in all these things. And our country is moving on. Oh, forget it. It's not important. Let's just move on. The country will fix itself. That we're moving on autopilot. And nothing fixing nothing. Nothing changing nothing. We just say, oh, forget it. We'll fix it next time and just let's move on. And we're coming to the same problem again. And instead of the new generation fixing it, the new generation doing the same thing the old generation did. Why? Because they got a lot of leaders from the old generation still leading Liberia today. The old killers and murderers still leading us today. How can the people change our country? And you expect me to come and work with murderers and killers? People who would come to my house at night when I refuse to do what they want to do. People who have killed so much, they have no compulsion with taking another life or encouraging their children to do the same, or their tribesmen. Where are we going? So our leaders are just a confused, discombobulated group of people. The Darrens Dillon ain't no better than the Elliot Cummings, they know better than the Benana Hewitt, they know better than the Joe Balka, they're nothing. They will lead us down the same road, man. Because they do things we are getting. He said he got professional people to look over this. That Darrell Dillon. Oh, I need this, someone professional. Yeah. But then why you didn't contact your professional people about our rehabilitation center you're making to advise you how to set up your advocacy group in the Senate so you can make sure you don't have deceitful liars like what's his name? Dustin Wally or what other traitor name from the 1990s, from the 1970s? I think forgetting. I like to even call those people names. Because those are the people betraying us, and your state are the people in our government from 1980. Dustin Wally and all these kind of people. How can the people help Liberia? How can Fanny Sherman help Liberia? How can all these corrupt people help Liberia? How can Darrell Dillon help Liberia? There is a trouble. There is trouble in the land. And we need people who are far-sighted. When you're not far-sighted, the thing you end up with, the same confusion they got. Darrell Dillon said they didn't want to pass the $48 billion relief money, printing of the money, because they haven't given the report on the old money. One, there is no quorum in the Senate to pass it. There got to be 20 or more senators. There were less than that. And instead of those people being present to fulfill the law and rule of the Senate, that there be a quorum present, they go and call the people on the telephone, snore in a different part. No guarantee that he word or anything. They just say, oh, we talk to these people, and they say, well, yeah, they will do that. But then why they're not there? Why they're not there? So they're not a quorum. So they still pass the bill. Now Darrell's talking about going to court and all these things. But the law still has not been met. Because that was only the Senate version they passed. Now the Senate and the House got to set up a joint committee so they can come up with one resolution on this matter. They can't even decide that. They can't even decide that. They haven't had no resolution. So there is no planning for this thing. Even the planning, they have no staff right now. Everybody's striking. Huh? Same thing with the program. They got you building a center. You have no skeleton staff. Because all the things supposed to be put in place right now. The government has no money. How the government will take over a center to run without money? The government can't even run the JFK. The government can't run the government buildings and pay people. How the hell do we run a center? You're sitting in Congress, you can't even, the Liberian, I let you say Congress, because the Liberia. You're sitting in the legislature. You can't even control the money of our country. You're so confused, disjointed, ununited, discombobulated. If the Senate is like this and the House is like this, we cannot function. You don't make laws. Where is the joint resolution? They didn't do it yet. They're saying they're waiting to pass the money. When the money comes, then they will sit down and pass a joint resolution. Is that how things work? Is that how we do things in our country, in the world? But these are the kind of people we got. So we got the infighting, we got the dishonesty, we got the deception among our leaders. No banking system out of Liberia. So how are we going to stop the bank notes from getting taken away, from being hoarded, from being the same way that we are now today? People hoarding the bank notes. We don't know how much money we got out there. How are we going to monitor this money? Our whole economic system is in a shambles. Our leaders have no concept of economic competence. But yet they won't do their own things. You got a dummy like a twit. Take $25 million, no receipt, nothing, go in the street and start giving out money. How you do that? That's a disgrace to our government, man. A total disgrace. The minister say you go in the street disbursing money to people in the street to take their money from them. Then is our country dignified? Is our leadership competence? Are our people real? We're not. We're not. We got a whole lot of things that we leave undone to rush to do things that have no foundation. And in the end, they all get destroyed because our leaders have no vision, no foresight, no insight. They just get up and, we'll do it and do it. The world does not work like that, my Liberian people. The world does not work like that. Now, the first money, we don't even know what that money is. We don't even know how it was spent, how it was spent, where it was spent. We don't know nothing because our legislature has not gotten a report from the government to explain to the people how that money was spent. Nor do they have a total overview of how this new money should be spent, how it should be divided, how it should be regulated, how it should be secured. They have nothing. So we're just at the mercy of rogues. We are at the mercy of rogues and killers and murderers How long can we go with this? How long? Now let's go to Dylan's program, because we know right now the $48 million they just signed are coming. That money is not for the Liberian people. That money is not for the Liberian people. It's for the rogues. The $4 million cannot be accounted for. They stole that. $25 million cannot be accounted for. They stole that. Now you're coming to print money and expect for it to be accounted for again, when the foundation has not been made to secure that money and ensure that they revitalize our economic system and get rid of the old money. And we're going back into doing the same thing that we have done from time immemorial, that have destroyed our economy. Why we gotta do this? Is this the kind of government we want? Can we maintain this government for another 3 more years? What will be left of our country? Who will come to revitalize all the mess these people have made? All the killing with impunity. How will we do that? It's in your hands, my people. It's in your hands. If we don't take our country back, we'll lose it. These people have no right to rule our country like some native village. They have no right to rule our country like a native kingdom that they themselves don't know about. What do people know about native leadership? The young children that were born and sent to Monrovia to grow up. What do they know about native leadership? The useless people. They don't even know Western leadership. They don't know traditional leadership. You better wake up, man. You better wake up. The time for us to change our country more now than ever is now. So let's go to Darius Taylor Rehabilitation Center he built in. He almost done with it. He said he got $25,000. It will be finished. They'll put light, water, everything in it. Then why y'all do it? Why y'all do it? You have built this center. You have completed it. What are you going to do with it? They don't rather know. How are you going to sustain it? Keep it running as the way you plan to run it. He relying on the Liberian government because he didn't do the groundwork. You cannot get donations only to build something. There has to be simultaneous actions going on to facilitate the smooth opening operation of your project. That's why government officials cannot do certain projects. That's why our leadership cannot handle social programs for our people. The leadership is too corrupt. Now look at everybody questioning the first thing. Who named this Dallin Dillon, raise all that money and do all that thing in? He had to tell them it's not in my name. I incorporated it in the Center for Rehabilitation. I did this. Nothing is in my name. I don't have nothing. I will turn it over to whoever y'all want to lead it. But the only person that got any hope now for taking over that place is the government. And if we keep giving our private institutions to government, it will fail. It will fail. Now you build all that thing, you take it and give it to a politician to run. What does a politician know about running a health center? It doesn't. They're going to take their cousin or nephew to put them in charge of it, pay them big salaries. And I think we just go down the drain. Because it's not about the people that are getting the fat salary. It's about the maintenance, the quality maintenance, sustenance, continuance of those programs that we build those things for. So we got to understand. So if I'm going to build something, as Darius Dillon has built it, we know we need staff, especially doctors. We need doctors. He has no doctors. He has no staff. He has no planning program, nothing. It is desirous and good for us that people like Darren Dillon has the vision to do those things. But you got to have the full vision to know that you cannot give it to government. If you can raise the money to build that thing, you got to have we're all with all to sit down with people and build a staff to take over that thing other than the government, to raise funds, find people who can bring money in, find Liberians abroad who can do the things. Because if you gather support money to do that and it's on your own and it's registered as a private institution, why do you want to give it to the government? It will not help our country. It will not help our people. Our government is not competent. Our government is corrupt. Our government is inept. They are petty criminals. So why would you build a rehab center when this thing was not even on these people's minds? Everything the people do to steal. Then you take a center without money or anything and give it to the same idiots. What do you think they're going to do with it? Pretend they're running something. I don't even know who got the money to run the center. Those are concerns. So my 1 hour is past. Let me go and come to my last topic. But if we don't change our way of doing things, if we continue to sit on the fences or supinely and watch things and just talk and just debate and just debate over and over, our country will not change. We need leaders, social society leaders who are not government officials. We need social society groups that will join money to build things in Liberia and support it with our government support. Right now, our government can't build nothing reasonable. Our government can't do nothing to sustain it. Our government can't do nothing to maintain it. Everything is corruption. And we got to take the major stand to do what is right for Liberia and Liberian people. Darren Dillon may have a good heart, but everything cannot be government. Government will lose over and over because government has no money. And even if government has money, too much rogues and dishonest and deceitful people. The same people Darren Dillon complaining about every day, going to sue them. What different will it be if you get in that center? We got to go sue them too. Aluta. Let me get into my last lesson. I got to go. Why I told Commander Chesson to lead Liberia? There's a need for private citizens to step to the plate. There is a need for Liberian citizens who are not involved in politics or with politics, who are hardliner, disciplinarian, and will not bend but enforce the rules and laws of Liberia to take away institutions like our health center, like our developmental programs. And that's why I keep telling you, diaspora Liberians, we can change Liberia. But we can't change it by building things and turning it over to the government. No, the government is incompetent. People go to the government to steal, not to build. So we got to change the trajectory of our nation, our people, the direction, the focus of our people from government to private sector. And we can do it. If honest people, the devil can take the money they send him, do what the people want, build the building and everything. He can't sit and decide to turn it over to the government. No. All the people that are involved in that got to sit down and be involved with who's going to run this building. And that's why we need private Liberians, self-made private Liberians who have a track record of honesty, decency, professionalism, responsibility to take over our buildings. If we don't move the social development of Liberia from the hands of the government to non-profit organizations of Liberians, especially those in the diaspora who have access to money, who have access to sending things to Liberia, we need a good representation in Liberia from the diaspora. That wherever we support in Liberia, we fund it, to sustain it, to keep it going. That will give us a more permanent status in Liberian society as diaspora Liberians. We have a say in the development, progress, and advancement of Liberia. We have a say in the economic viability of our country because of our investment, direct investment, not through family and all of that. Those people can't do what we want to do in Liberia, no matter how we send them money. No. We got to have diaspora Liberians who are involved in America with the organizing, with the ideal, with the preparation and programming of these programs in Liberia while they are being built. Americans in America be setting up the groundwork for finding nurses, for finding doctors, so we don't have to go recruit people in Liberia. We haven't go to recruit people in Guinea and Nigeria and other people. No, we need competent Liberians who don't want to serve in government, but are not afraid to challenge the government on every level. And once we have these people that we support in the diaspora, we ain't got to go through U.S. government. Why are we always weakening ourselves? We are Liberians. If you say you will support Chesson financially, socially, spiritually, nobody can do no harm to me. But if you stand back and undecisive, cannot come to one plan, cannot come to one agreement because of your tribal differences and personal idiosyncrasies in this country, you need more mature leadership. And I would provide that mature leadership for you. I would provide that mature direction for you. Because it is necessary. To build viable foundation, you need a leadership that understands leadership. The time of the Liberian people is now. I've been here over 1 hour. I keep telling you, consider Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson. My time is out. Have a good day, my people.
Hello, and welcome to the Pepperbird Magazine. Did you know that the Pepperbird Magazine has been in existence for over 25 years, and we're still going strong? I invite you to take an ad on our internet magazine, which is very, very useful during COVID days. So please, give us a call. We'll come and have a quick chat with you and video you and your business. Look at the number below.